Good morning, everyone. My name is Oksana, and I welcome you at my stitching corner, which I called Crafts Journey. I understand it's like a lot of crafts, so for now I'm doing only one cross stitching. Maybe one day in my life I will do something more than that. Is beading considered to be a different type of art? Maybe, I don't know. Today is 30th of May. We're not at the end of this, like exactly at the end of the season, but I'm there. Right now, this video is is a video about summary of the whole spring season. I usually do these videos facing camera when I do reviews for every single season except fall. I don't do it in fall because I also do annual overview, like my summary, what I achieved during the whole year. And between fall overview and annual, there is only 1 month. And if I will show you all my fall projects at the fall review, I will repeat them in the annual one, and I feel like it's very too repetitive and too it's too close, right? So that's why last year I canceled this idea to do fall overview, but I do winter, and winter includes actually 2 months. Well, it is still a progress, right? Then spring and summer. I divide my videos like this, right? In 4 parts. Oh, okay. Why I'm not doing videos facing camera other time? I would love to do it, but I simply do not have a setup at my apartment, which I'm renting, to comfortably sit down and do and show all your stuff, all the stuff which I have. I do have a desk where I work, but it's just so full of like keyboard, monitors. I have work laptop, separate one which company sent to me, so I have to use that one. So I simply don't have space there to, like put everything what I want. And I have only one desk in the whole household. That's it. I don't have anything else. And that's why for me to do it every week is very uncomfortable, especially if I have to show you projects which are on frames, which are standing on frames. I'm not taking them down. It's too much hustle, too much fuss about it, just taking it down, putting it back. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I want it simple. So that's why I'm dreaming that one day I would have my own house. I would have my stitching room where I will have a perfect setup that every single video I will be able to do facing camera. One day that will arrive, I'm sure that. But for now, all my weekly videos will be like facing table, talking hands. But here, like any type of overviews, like summaries, I just do facing camera. That's okay. Now, as I said, I'm dividing usually these type of videos in 4 parts. First part is just yapping and chit-chatting about weather or my observations, my feelings, my life, let's say. And I know a lot of people do it at the end. I usually do it at the beginning. I was trying to put it at the end, but sometimes I just want to share some information, and if I leave it to the end, I will forget about it, and then I kind of regret it, and like, I so wanted to talk about it, but that's why I usually do it at the beginning. Then my cross-stitch portion divided in 3 pieces. I mean, that's why the whole video in 4 pieces, right? The cross-stitch piece is 3 parts. My finishes. I usually show what I finished during the spring, like during the season, not the year, not the half of a year. I'm not doing half of a year whips, like parades, whatever. I just don't do that. I just don't want to do it. So usually I do seasonal ones. So I show finishes, whatever I finished during the season I'm reviewing, right? Then the second part, whatever I started, I show you my starts within the season. And progress section, the last one, is when whatever, all my projects which migrated from whatever year into current one, and which I took during this season, not in winter, not like in fall, but during the season I'm filming, right? Currently it's a spring season ending, so I'm going to show you all projects which I took only in spring and put some progress into them. So that's how I structure it. I also, in the past, like about 2 years ago, I had another piece at the most end of the video. I would show my purchases, but I saw that just because I like to talk a lot, my videos would be like 2 hour long, and I consider it maybe too long for people. Not all people like extremely long videos. I know some do, that you can turn it on, station do station, okay, oh my gosh, do station in parallel and periodically listen and watch, right? But 2 hours, I feel like it's like too long, and not everyone would prefer to watch it. So that's why I took the purchases piece, took it out into a separate video. So I'm not going to show you my purchases. It will be a separate video. Today's Saturday, and while I was charging my phone before I start filming, I made 2 more purchases. So it's my spring purchases, and I usually show like seasonal purchases. Okay, whatever I purchased during the season, right? Everything is compacted in a scope of a season. I'm not going beyond. So I made 2 more purchases today for 2 more kits. So now I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to create the purchase video tomorrow, for example, but maybe I'll do it next week when those items, hopefully they will arrive by the end of the next week, so I can show you everything what I bought during the season. Yeah, sometimes I might stick some purchases at the end of the video because I have a pop-ups distracting me, because let's say I bought 1 or 2 kits or charts and that's it, right? If I bought so little, usually I don't create a separate video for that. I can just stick it at the end of this summary videos and that's it. Not today. I have quite a bit of pile of purchases, so that's why it will be a separate video. Okay, so that's the way how I structure stuff. Now, I wanted to tell you something else. Okay, so here's the thing. I know a lot of people, including myself, I do like to watch these different parades, or kit parade, whip parade, like whatever, half of a year overview. I do watch those. I don't make half of a year parades, right? But I do watch them. I do love it. I just love when anything type of parade, it's like I really love, because there is a lot of kits and progress, like a lot of information, a lot of interesting things going on the screen. So I do love those. Okay, so why I started with that? I was just kind of moving towards certain information, and that's the problem. I have like memory like a goldfish, 3 seconds and then it's gone, you know, which is like concerning. I didn't take my meds yet. What I was talking, what I wanted to tell you about, I think okay. And I know a lot, so what I was trying to move towards, so during this type of videos, a lot of new people can come in just to poke around, just to see what's going on, right? Some of them will stick around for longer, for more videos. Some of them will, some of you may subscribe, and some of you will just go because it's not your cup of tea. That's fine, okay? But for those who will stick around, I want to maybe explain a little bit my I'm a seasonal stitcher, and I have I spin decision wheels. I just love it. I just love it. I do sometimes participate in some sales or whatnot. Periodically, I do that and that. But usually I prefer my own decision wheel, and it's like more than enough for me for now, at least for now. I did participated in past years in a different, like, you know, interesting game, cross-stitching games, which girls will like put together, and it's a lot of work. I'm like, I don't want to do it myself because I see how much work it involves, and you, most of the time, you as organizer don't have enough don't have time to stitch yourself, because you're just working with a team, with people reporting, sending you screenshots, asking questions. So you just do a lot of that work and not stitching. So that's, I'm like, I don't want to be an organizer. But sometimes I would participate, and I found out that even though they're nice and exciting periodically to step in, but most of the time, after a certain period of time, it becomes like a chore and a work, and you're no longer enjoying it. But you don't want to drop it because you don't want to upset people or whatnot. So I decided that if I will ever participate in any type of those teaching games, it's not going to be like full involvement, right? It's more will be like I'm observing people fully involved and doing my own stuff by myself at my own pace without any like forcing, sticking to the rules or whatnot. Just, I do like that. So that's why I have those spinning wheels, and I can explain to you how I structure them and certain if you're new, right? And I will explain to you like certain rules, etc., etc. I do have focus projects, and I have like weird 3 type of focus projects. They are not, some of them are very dynamic, fluid, like based on the season, based on my ideas, etc., etc. So I will explain to you because if you will decide to stick around on my channel, you will periodically see what I'm doing, and maybe this will give you better idea what in the heck is that, why it's working that way, and you're not going to be confused. And who knows, maybe you, like me on the side, will participate without letting me know, like on your own pace, right? So I have as I said, I'm a did I say it? I'm a seasonal stitcher. I'm a seasonal stitcher. I like to stitch in season, and I would say that, and actually it came by experience. It's not that I decided that I will be a seasonal stitcher. When I started, I just really don't want to go too far because I still need to make a video in different language on this, and I didn't start showing stuff yet. As all of us stitchers, like majority, we all started somewhere from our childhood, poking around here and there, not sticking too much to cross stitches, and then we fully dive into the cross stitching after maybe our 20s or 30s, right? So that was exactly the same with me, and I started more deeply sticking around with cross stitching. I also started at 4 years old, right? But it stuck to me around after 30. And still I had like a turbulent time because in my 30s I moved to the United States. I live in Texas for 14 and a half years already, and like I had a period of my life when I had to move pretty much every single year to relocate because of work, and you don't have too much time on stitching, right? Because you spend like packing and packing and organizing. Like if any one of you ever moved, doesn't matter, houses, apartments, it doesn't matter. You need to close your accounts in one certain address, electric, water, whatever you do, right? Lease, etc. And then you need to open new one at a new location, like internet, right? So all of that, all this organization, it takes time, especially if you need to do some research. And that's why there was a period of time when I was not sticking around, but once I more or less figure out the pace of my life, I was able to stick to cross stitching longer. So from that and playing in different games, I understood that and this is, I'm trying to say, like regarding wheels, in the past I would stitch every single season, like it doesn't matter which season when, I didn't care. I could stitch winter in summer or fall, etc. But I paid attention that if it is a season, let's say summer, I'm gravitating more towards summer projects, just like I have a mood for summer stitching, like projects which are around summer. And in spring, I saw that I have a mood to stitch more spring projects, and I would gravitate towards those, and I may not take other projects at all. But just because I was participating in different type of games, and sometimes you would have like a task for the week to stitch something like on a winter, not a winter project, but something, and when I take a look all my projects, I see it's only on winter projects I can make that quest, finish that, and I wouldn't have a mood to stitch that for winter stuff, and that's why I decided, like, made practice, like got experience in those gaming different stuff. I'm okay, I will do it my own pace, I don't want to participate anymore. And I saw that I'm a seasonal stitcher, so I decided I'm going to be just, why am I just pushing myself stitching something which I off season if I really enjoy being a seasonal stitcher. So that's why I have in my decision wheels, I have 2 wheels per season. Why do I have 2 wheels per season? This all comes down to a focus project. I have, for example, I will give you example for, let's say, this current spring. It applies for every single season, summer, fall, winter, whatever. So I have a regular spring decision wheel, which I spin one time and I pick one project for the week. It's like weekly one. Then I have a focus project, weekly focus project, or it might be monthly focus project, might be seasonal focus project, and I have a long-term plain focus project. So that's like, and I have like Saturday focus project. I have a lot of focus projects, but just because it's a variety, and I will explain to you in a second. I saw a lot of people when they spin the wheel, they do decision wheel, which gives them what are you stitching every single day. For example, I don't do it. I just pick one project only because I have a lot of different type of focuses, and plus I want to have some free days to pick whatever I just simply want. I don't want decision wheel decided for me. I just want to go and grab something which I really feel towards, right? So that's why I give myself that much freedom to juggle around. So I have a weekly decision wheel, which gives me project for the week. Why spin it one time? And I have a seasonal focus decision wheel, which will give me a focus project for the month. Now, I'm not always spinning the second decision wheel, and here is why. My focus projects are higher priority to work on than other ones. And the way how I decide focus project is at the beginning of the season, not month, season, I'm going through the list of all my seasonal projects and I'm checking which one has like 4,000 stitches left or less on the project, like 4,000 stitches or less. That becomes my focus project for the whole season. It doesn't mean for the month, it's for the season. I can stitch it this week, but I may not stitch it next week. But I know that I need to stitch it dedicate the whole season for it, and I know I will finish it within the season. So it's like a definite finish for the season. And the reason why I'm doing it is the beginning of the season, just because to give myself more room and time to stitch it. But it may happen, what if all my projects have more than 4,000? And I will tell you why the number is 4,000, but in a second. But what if I have all projects, they don't have 4,000, they have 5,000 and more? What do I do? And this is where I spin my second wheel, which will decide me what will be my focus project, but for the month only. And I'll explain to you how they tie together 4,000 and for the months only, not for the season. So experimenting with different type of focus project length, I would say, I found out that 4,000 stitches is the optimal, the perfect amount for me to come to make a trigger for the project to become a focus, right? It's like a rule. So how did I come out with that? Years ago, when I was teaching Heaven and Earth design, I had a by Sheena Pike, that winged dragon. It's like a really beautiful purple baby dragon. It's not full coverage, surprisingly enough, Heaven and Earth. And I would take it every single week, and I will put every single week 1,000 stitches. And I think it took me about, well, when I started really involving myself with that project, maybe 3 to 4 years. I don't remember how long it took me. Maybe, I don't know, guys, I don't know. I don't remember. It was so far ago. And I I will be honest, I was so tired of it. I really didn't want to stitch it. And I was like, I'm not going to do this way anymore because it becomes a chore, not enjoyment. And guys, we're stitching because we're enjoying it, not because it's our day job, right? And I didn't want it to be a day job. So I decided I'm not going to do it this way anymore. Then I stepped into SAL for the modern folk embroidery for 2024. No time like the present. So I was teaching it based on the rules in the book, which pretty much you start at the beginning of the year, and by October you're finishing the project if you're stitching like on a monthly basis. And I was tired of that too. I finished it like months earlier, and months earlier is even including like I was stitching totally with metallic. That design, everything was metallic, two ply. So it was, I just did some adventure on my ass, you know. Maybe if I would use just regular floss, it would be faster. But and I also added beads there. And and I finished it, I remember the first week of September. And I was tired of that too. I was really not enjoying it, stitching it. It was just feeling like a day job. And I said, okay, good. I know I experimented on myself. Like, okay, I get it. Now I know I don't like it that way too. Then in 2025, I had a project, Realis kit. There is a beautiful sunflowers in a vase, and I was stitching past years on and off like during the season, but it just happened during 2025 there was 8,000 stitches left, and I decided that will be my focus project for the summer, and it doesn't matter, I'm going to finish in summer. So I was dedicated to finish it that year. And I spent 3 months stitching it, and I was taking it every single week, excluding my mega wheel weeks, whatever. And I forgot to tell you about that wheel, right? The mega wheel, super wheel, I call it. And I found out that stitching for when I was stitching that project, after about months and a half, I started dreading over it. So I understood that I am actually on a roll, having a project in focus for months and a half, not longer, 1 month and 1 week, worst case scenario, 1 month and 2 weeks. And after that, it becomes a chore, and I'm not enjoying it. So just because I give 1,000 stitches a week on project, I was able to calculate how many stitches I need for the project to fully enjoy it as a focus and actually finish it. So that's how I come up with, actually, first it was like 5,000 stitches, because it was like 5 weeks for me was like perfect, 5,000 stitches. But what happened like last year, because in fall I implemented this rule, in winter I found out that what would happen, I would have a project, let's say my decision wheel will give me a project which has like 6,000 stitches left. I will put it 1,000 stitches like normal, and then it becomes a focus project, because now I have 5,000, and then I need to change my plans and make this project as a focus. And now I stitch every single week, and it's becoming like a chore. And that's why this year I kind of lowered the plank, lowered the bar, and I said, you know what, just because of like what can happen, let it be 4,000, because 5,000 is my perfect medium, like it's just golden medium. And if this will be the situation when decision wheel will give me before for a project, 4,000. So 4,000 right now is my bar. I'm not going to decrease it even lower than, because then it defeats the purpose. Now, if I don't have, as I said, if I don't have a focus project for the season, I spin the second wheel, seasonal wheel, which will give me this for the month. And just because in a month I have 3 weeks only, full weeks to stitch, and 1 week I dedicate for the super wheel, I'm explaining in a second. I found out like that's perfect amount, three weeks in a row to sit with one project. That's exactly amount I'm not getting tired of the project. So that's why second month of the season, let's say in April, if I still don't have any projects which can become my focus, I again spin my second wheel to get April focus project. In May, the same May, and it will be the same going on like in summer and so on. Now, what is the mega wheel? What is the super wheel? It talks on its own, for its own. This is the wheel which combines absolutely all projects which I have in progress, regardless of the season, and I spin it every single month. At the end of the month, for the like, I pick a full week, which full week, it's kind of 4 days, full 4 days, and whatever project it will give me, doesn't matter what at the season, I spent 4 days on that project. It's just because I want all those immigrants which migrated from the previous years to put more progress on a project and bring the finish line faster. Okay, I've been talking for 30 minutes, and I usually don't do timestamps, but let's move on to stitching, because to stitches and my progresses. I know you're here for that, not for me explaining, yapping around what's going on. I still can sit and talk about weather, which is crazy, and other stuff, but you guys here for the stitching. Okay, so I have this cheat sheet. Do you see anything here? Me neither. So we'll try to go over that. Okay. And I even didn't tell you about my 30-year focus project, which I'll stitch for 30 years. And I didn't tell you about my weekly focus, but I usually explain it during my weekly weeks videos. That's outside of this explanation. Anyway, section number 1. Finishes. Did I finish anything this spring? No, I didn't. So it will be pretty fast. I didn't finish anything. The reason why, last year I had a lot of starts, like a lot of starts. But that being said, a lot of those projects migrated into this year with very little percentage. So I have nothing ready to finish at all. Even my Dimensions Gold Petites, they still had 7,000 to 8,000, like quite a bit, like 6,000-7,000 left. And even when I put like certain amount, they were not like they didn't become as a focus project for this year, but they are for the next one, and I'm going to talk about it once. I'm going to show you them. So there is no finishes this season, but section number 2, we're going pretty fast. What's going on with my hair? We're going pretty fast with that. Section number 2 starts. I had also very pathetic season for starts, and the way, because how I changed, so my decision wheels in the past, they didn't have like erase what was already selected, and last year I would constantly, my decision wheel would pretty much, it will give me only 2 projects during the season. It's either Rosewood Manor or Golden Kite. And I was so tired of them stitching last year because my decision wheel would love them and it would constantly will give it to me. So this year, somewhere at the end of March, I decided, you know what, hell no, let me go and redo settings for my decision wheels. And that's why I kind of, just because I changed it, everything started from scratch, right? All those projects which I took already, they started, my decision wheel said give it to me, so I didn't have time for starts. So I had only 1 start this year, and that is, oh, I didn't take it out. Okay, listen. Give me a second. It's, if you know it, who might be such loud. So this is Lady Stitch into Dreamland. So Lady Stitch, it's a branch of luca-s. This is like beautiful lady was in a beautiful dress, sleeping, just because it's like Alice in Wonderland, right? Who read the book and fall asleep in beautiful flowers, beautiful lady. Okay, unlike luca-s, Lady Stitch gives you a self-gridded, or how you call it, fabric. It is very confusing to stitch on it. Let me see. Can I show you? No. Okay. 2 hands. Just because it just this year started, I took it twice, and I'm going to stitch it they call it typewriting method. I saw it on the Max Color Stitcher. She does full coverages and she stitches them so fast. And even though it goes only block 10 by 10 only, 10, I mean 10 by 10, 10 stitches up and 10 stitches. So it's like one row, like 10 by 10. Not big block 10 squares by 10 squares, but just one row, right? Single row, which is 10 cross stitches by 10 cross stitches. So like 100 stitches one block, right? It's hard to explain, but and then she goes till the end of the row and then she starts again and goes. Even though from the beginning it doesn't look like there is any progress, but every single week when I see her results, I feel like she really like typing so fast. That's how she is stitching. It just grows so fast. Her projects grow so fast. I'm like, you know what, let me try it. So just because this project will be pretty big, by the way, I do love numbers. I'm going to give you numbers. So I started this one on 2nd of April, and there is 51,430 stitches. Right now I stitched 1,700, like 1,741, which is a 3.39% from the whole project. Really loved it. I know it's pretty much right now going to be more brown stuff until I will reach any green and flowers, but it's still a long way to go. This is 16 count Adam, full cross stitches, blends, back stitch 2 and 1 strand, floss anchor. I'm not a big fan of anchor, but it is what it is. Okay, next one. I need to speed up because, as I said, I still need to make the same duplicate of the video on a different language. All right, the next one is my section, which is progress. I'm done with the starts, now it's progress. These are the projects which I started somewhere in the past, but during this season, I put some stitches into them. I have actually I gave some love to every single spring project for now, except pretty much one, but I still have today and tomorrow. Today is 30th of May, so today and tomorrow to do some stitching on that particular project. At the end of the video, I'll show you what's that. Okay, so and the next one, I'm going to move into my dimensions. I'm going to start my progress section with dimensions. So you know what, I thought I was ready, guys. I didn't open all of these, didn't take them out from the packages. Okay, unfortunately you'll have to listen to this. So my next project is napping kitty. I have this sheet, so I know what I'm telling to you. This napping kitty. It's gold petite. It is gold petite. This is how it looks like right now. So I started it 9th of March last year. It is a pretty big one. It is 11,353 and a half stitches, and currently I have 7,000. I said 11,000, right? It's total like more than 11,000. So currently it's 7,348 and a half, which is 64.72%. Now there is really more than 4,000 left, I think, on this one. Even if there is a 4,000, and let's say 4,050 or 12, it still counts as a focus project for the next year. It falls under that rule. So at the beginning of the year, oh, you know what, maybe those, are you interested in those? So at the beginning of the year, let me see, I had 5,000, 5,100 on it. So eventually, since the beginning of the year, I stitched almost 20%. It's like 19.5% I added through the season on this project. Okay. Next one is Also dimensions, also gold petite. I'm sorry guys, I think I don't have any more these type of loud ones. So next one is elegant geisha, also dimension gold petite, and I also started it last year. It looks like this. So there is 7,300 plus stitches on it, and I added during this season almost 4,000, like 3,900 stitches. So I added, right now it is 53.66% already on it, and during this season I added 31% on it, a little bit over than 31, 31.28. And it is a pretty small one, and it also has more than 4,000 left on this project, which also becomes my focus project for the next year. And you may say, what happens if you have more than one or two focus projects, like candidates for the focus project? I am starting usually with those which has the least amount left. And just because, as I said, the rule for the focus project, not in a percentages, but in a certain amount of stitches. So I know even if it is a full coverage, but it has, let's say, 2,000 stitches left, and I have a gold petite which has 3,000 left, full coverage becomes a focus project because it has less stitches left. So that's why now I have like Napping Kitty, which is a candidate for the focus project for the next year, for the finish for the next year, and Geisha for the next year also. So I will see which one has the least amount. That will become more priority, and it will go from there. Okay, so next one. Ooh, sorry. This one was very, very loved by all my wheels, decision wheels this spring. It's Ingrid in Flight, also by dimensions. This is regular series, this is not gold. I started it, oh, Geisha, I forgot, I started Geisha 1st of May last year. This one I started 13th of May last year. Where do I want to put it? It's usually becomes a mess after you show. So this looks like this. I don't know, do you see him? Because I didn't backstitched yet this wing. It's really hard to see this wing, but it exists there, as you may see. It exists. So I started it 13th of May last year. Total here is 19,601 stitch. And I already stitched 8,724 and a half, which currently you see is 44% and 44.51%. Do you see it normally? Yes, you do. Okay, and I actually stitched a lot. So this project migrated with almost 3% at the beginning of the year, and I added 41.68% through the season. I started with just because dimensions or any type of other kits, right? They already give you this fabric certain cut, and most of the time to to make sure that it fits, you start from the middle, and I like to stitch from the bottom to top. So I usually go into the bottom right corner and then just grow up. And middle is egret, and when I was stitching it, I was like, okay, let me just finish the whole thing. And now I had the most boring part. reeds, and sky, and that's it. But yeah, egret is the biggest, and as I said, I added like 41%. It's a lot. I was in shock how much I added, but it was my spinning wheel gave it me 2 or 3 times before I, one time I think before I changed the settings, then again reset, right, one time. Then I had it as a focus project, then I had it as a super wheel. So it was like all possible wheels which you can spin. All of them gave me this project. So it just like it meant to be stitched so much. Okay, next project is, again, this is the last dimensions. A holiday village. I just, you see it reflects too much because as you may see, I have a window. This is Holiday Village. And this is my Saturday project. I dedicate for it only one day. It's a winter project. And you see, I'm stitching it every single season. It looks like this right now. You saw it recently because the Super Wheel gave me it as a focus project for 1 week. I think it was last March. Last month, I mean, not last March, but last month, I had it as a focus project. You see it, okay, which means that I set with it 4 days. And usually what I'm doing with this particular project, so I pick a big gold, dimensions gold, and actually it started with the Aurora Cabin. When I start Aurora Cabin, it was my seasonal project only, and I would stitch it only during the season. And I found out that with such speed, I would stitch, like I calculated, and I found out that I would stitch that project maybe like for 10 years. And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to. I don't want to stitch it for 10 years. I want to see it sooner. So I decided that usually, and when I was talking at the beginning of the video with this, all my decision wheels, it actually tied. That the reason why I spin only one. I spin decision wheel, the weekly decision wheel, and I pick only one project, is because I dedicate for each project 2 days. I give 500 stitches a day. So first 2 days I will spend on a focus project, whatever month is focus project. Then second 2 days I will spend on whatever my weekly spin decision will give me. So it's 4 days. Then 2 more days I will spend, it's like free form. I can pick whatever my soul desire to stitch, even if it's a start. Okay, I'll do start then. And I left with only 1 day extra. So this is the day where I decided I'm going to give it to the project Gold Collection. And it is every single week. I will dedicate 1 day. I will give it 500 a day, 500 stitches. And I'm going to just like stitch it through the year. I found out that I'm not getting tired like that from the project. I'm not. If I'll just give it a love 1 day only. If it could be 2 days, I would get tired. But if I give it 1 day and I'm excluding Super Wheels weeks when I'm not taking it, I'm not getting tired. But I decided that to show you 500 stitches every week, you may not see on a big project like that. So I decided that for these type of Saturday projects, I am going to show you every 2000 stitches. So it's pretty much about every month and a half you will see it. But just because it was given to me relatively recently, that's why you see it after 5500 stitches, not 2000, a little bit less. But just because it's a spring overview video, that's what I'm showing to you. But the next time, you're going to see it in 2000, after 2000 stitches, because my Mega Super Wheel already gave me this project, so it's not going to give it this project for me anymore. And seasonal focus project, it's a winter project, so it's not going to come anywhere soon. It's only come out in a winter. So that's why this one now till winter, we are going to see it relatively every 2000 stitches most of the time. We will see, just because the way how weeks are going to be structured through the season, I do like seasonal overview. You will see it at the end of the summer too, how many stitches then will it will be. It doesn't matter, but most of the time it's every 2000 stitches. So I was stitching this bridge. On this side, I was dedicated myself on that side. And I'm going to come up till my line in here. This is my rolling line. After I will reach that line, I'm going to roll it. This project has way much more half stitches than Aurora Cabin. When I was doing Aurora Cabin, I was like, it's like 50% of that one, if not 60% of that project is maybe 50 half stitches. This one, when I was doing saga file for this, and I checked the numbers, it has way much more half stitches than Aurora Cabin. Now, the maximum ply here is 5 ply. Most of the time it's 3 ply, 4 ply, some of them 5, not 6 ply. In Aurora Cabin, almost half of a project is 6 ply. It's just crazy. It's not like 5 ply better. I actually hate to stitch anything which is more than 2 plies, but I can tolerate 3. I am very annoyed with 4. I hate 5, and I just really hate 6. I just recently made a saga file for, I hope it will be a summer start. I hope. I wanted to start it last year, but I'm like, oh, I don't have a saga file. I need to do it first. And I didn't start it last year. And this year, I'm like, I really need to start it. I was in shock. And if I'll start it, I'll tell you why I was in shock when I did the saga file. So this looks like this. Okay, now numbers. I started it on Christmas last year. There's 35,274 stitches, and I added, and right now you see it's 12,689, and currently it is 35%, 35.97%. It's almost 36%. Let me tell you guys, at the beginning of the year, it migrated with 1.5% only. There was only 1.5% on this project, and right now it's already 36. I added, I mean, I'm rounding to the highest, right? So I added 34.48%, and it is only 1 day a week, 500 stitches, excluding some weeks which I dedicate for super wheel. Granted, I did had it, super wheel gave it to me one time, okay? But with Aurora Cabin, I did exactly the same principle last year. When I said, hell no, I'm not going to stitch it for 10 years, I found out that, well, I did have a super wheel give it to me in December, so I added to that project through the year. I calculated, I had a formula like, oh, at the beginning it was 12%. At the end, I was like around like 80 something. So I just calculated the difference. I added 75% on the project, and it's just like, as I said, 1 day a week, 500 stitches, and it's not even every single week. So I found out that I really like that system, and that's why I took this project and I'm applying the same system. And as you may see, we are not half of a year yet. It's only May, end of May, and I already added almost like 34.5% on this one. So chances that I will add another maybe 30-ish% by the end of the year, more. So it will be around 70, maybe, I think it will be around maybe 65 to 68%. We will see. By the end of the year, this is amazing. It means like at a slow pace, you can stitch gold collection in a year and a half. At a very, very slow, I mean, my slow pace. You may be adding like 100 stitches a week, but guys, just experiment. Just do 100 stitches a week on a gold and see how many percentages you will see by the end of the year. It will blow your mind. How it blows my mind with this one. Anyway, let's stop on this one. I still have some pile to go. So next one is Riolis Fusion. I didn't look. I need to look how correctly pronounce it. So this flower, this doesn't have a name. I just know the flower, so that's why I call it by the flower. It's more recent Riolis is recent, a couple of years ago already, I would say. They do give names to their projects, to their kits, but very, very old ones, they just would have this number. It is 1398. And there will be no name for it. It's 2013. So in 2013, they still were not given names to their projects, but I do have newer ones. They are in more like white, purplish, pale packaging, and they do have names. What the hell? And do have names on their project. This one doesn't. This one has the number. Just to make sure I'm not showing you the back, which I usually sometimes do. So this is how much it looks like. I'm not in a rush stitching it. I started it, it's March 6th. Yes, March 6th, 2025. It was last year. Total count is 16,777.5. 777.5 stitches. Because there is backstage and there is actually beads in it also. I already have 3,280.5, which is a 19.55%. And do I have, and during this season I added 6.59% on this project. This is how it looks like. And yeah, I already showed you a couple, quite a bit of projects. I'm sorry, my itchy nose, you know, all of us have it. I usually add somewhere pictures before, and I will add, like, I usually edit how it looked like at the beginning of the season. Not the last time you saw it, but the beginning of the season. Okay. So you can see like the difference, how much was added through the season. Now, next project is very, very big. I'm going to pause you because it's on a ginormous frame and I need to bring it, because as I said, I'm not pulling it down from the stand. I'm going to bring it together with the stand, and it's a big boy. Give me a second, I'll pause you. Ready? Okay, so the next project is Golden Kite. It's a full coverage. I'm going to put it on my knee because it's very heavy, it's big. As you may see, give me a second, my knees, I'm a tiny person. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to show you Golden Kite. This is how it's going to look like. It calls Slaget Ikage. I don't know how to pronounce, it's a Dutch name. It's not written in the, like, there is a little bit different letters there. They look different. There is O with the, it's like a crossed O. If you translate it, it means like fight near Køge. Køge is a city in Danish, Dane. Okay, it's a Danish city. So Golden Kite. Very difficult to stitch, to be honest, but I'm not in a rush with that. So I started it 25th of June 2023. There is 209,200 stitches, and currently I stitched already 33,241, which is 15.89%. I stitched it on 28 count Lugana 2/1 half stitch. I'm done with the ocean, guys. This is so, ocean probably is the most difficult. I think when I was looking into it, I think there is 101 blends and 99 solids. So there is less solids in this project than blends. I regretted stitching it on well, it's not that I regret it too much. It's difficult to stitch. I would probably regret taking this project using blends. I would love to, it's easier to stitch such projects with when it has ton of blends, full coverage, maybe on 16 count. It will be easier to secure because there is a ton of single stitches, especially when you need to secure blends. Single stitch, it's really a nightmare. I just knew that if I will do 16 count, this project will be like a bed sheet. This will be ginormous. I didn't want it to be extremely big. I wanted to decrease it. That's why it's 28 count 1/1. I do have another Golden Kite project, which also has a ton of blends. I didn't think about it, right? I should have started with one and try it before ordering another one, but I made one order with 2 charts, and that one I probably will stitch on 16 count. I don't care for the size. I just care for the sanity, you know. So this one, just I'm losing sanity on this one. I actually, through the year, I added, where is it, only 3% on this one. Last year, as I said, all my decision wheels, it would give me constantly, like every other week, my decision wheel will give it to me, like spin it, and I would have it as a focus project. I'm sorry, not focus, my mega wheel will give it to me. So that I actually set 5 last year. I had 5 days for the focus, for the super wheel projects, and I found out that I'm really dreading on a 5th day. I'm really tired of the project, so that's why this year I said it's going to be only 4 days, and I'm very comfortable with 4 days. 5th day, you can see by my numbers, it would be like the first and second day, I would do pretty well on amount of stitches. Third day, I would be really tired. I would be like, okay, it will go slower, and I would have smaller number of stitches. Fourth day, I would be like, okay, I'm pretty much also will be tired, and not too bad, but I would be looking at the saga every single 100 stitches, like, am I there yet, am I there yet? Fifth day, I would be like, oh, I don't want to take it anymore, but I have to. So it would be, as I said, I would be dreading. So that's why I changed that rule again for 4 days only. And so far, I would say 4 days is really good. But last year, I didn't have settings which would remove already projects which were already given. Guys, it would give me every other week, and this is my multi-seasonal project. So I told you I have, in my decision wheels, I have 2 decision wheels, right, per season. Every seasonal wheel includes seasonal projects plus multi-seasonal. This one is my multi-seasonal because it's really hard for me to determine, is it a spring season, is it a summer? It feels like it can be both. So this project exists in both wheels. It doesn't exist in fall wheel and winter wheel. So, and that's why last year I was so tired of it, because spring and summer every other week, it would be just too much. That's the reason why I'm like, I need to do something with my decision wheels, because I was tired. And plus water, I think I didn't stitch ships yet, but for now water is the most difficult to stitch on this particular, let me just put it and I'll give you the preview. It's the most difficult to stitch on this particular project. And as I said, I didn't try the ship yet. That may be difficult too, but if you will take a look, ship is in the middle of the canvas. On the sides, there is pretty much sky. I'm not saying that sky has 2 or 3 colors. It may still have like 10 colors in the block 3x4. But it will be pretty much block stitching there. While in the water, it's just water from one side to another, fully covering the row. And when you have those foam, sea foam and waves, there is confetti. In block 3x4, you may have all 200 colors, where you may have the biggest number in the most difficult block. I think I had like 52 or something that nature stitches with one color. All rest were pretty much single stitches. I was so tired. I was like, I love the project, but I hate to stitch it. It's still not bad. I really have the one which I'm dreading too much. This is, as I said, so far this one was very difficult because of the water, but I'm currently really on the horizon line right now. Really, I just have like maybe 3 or 4 stitches left for the water line, and the rest is sky. Sky goes really fast. very easy. Yes, not 5 or 10 colors, there is maybe more, but it is all more blocky, quite a lot. And even here on this shape on the back end, it's still not that difficult as the water. As I said, I'm not sure about the middle one, but I can guarantee that I have a feeling that the most difficult part, really the most difficult, was the water, and I'm pretty much done with that. So the rest should go slightly faster. And as I said, if we'll take the shape, it's not for the whole row. It's just in the middle. So what you may have, you stitch easy, easy, then a little bit difficult part, then easy, easy, right? You have some breath of fresh air, a little bit like relaxation, etc. So I think that from now on it should go slightly faster. I had some slow down on this project because I was out of a DMC 822, and when I ordered it, March and April packages from 1 to 3 stage were running late. It's really it's not like they were lost, running late. I don't know. When I I told you guys, when I made a purchase at the beginning of March, I think it was like 11th of March, I placed an order. I received that package only in middle of April. And I told you all that story. I live in Texas, 1 to 3 stage in Texas, 4 hours away from me. I actually lived 30 minutes away from it when I lived in Dallas. Right now I'm not there anymore, thank God. It's not because thank God I'm away from 1 to 3 stage. I'm glad I'm away from Dallas, I would say. I'm still living in the same state, and it took 1.5 months for the package to arrive. Usually it doesn't take that long. Sometimes it happens. When I placed an order in April, it actually arrived in May. I was even when the May started, I was like, I'm not going to make any orders because I want that April's order to eventually arrive. Because you know what happened? When my March order arrived, and it already arrived after I placed an April order. So when I saw that, hey, package arrived, it told me that my April order arrived. I went to the mailbox, I picked up an order. When I opened it, I saw that actually it was not April's order, it was March's order. But USPS marked that they delivered me April one. So I was just like, oh Lord. So that's why I'm not placing anything in May, because it's going to create this like craziness. Like I just didn't want to mess up. But thank God that the April's order arrived like 2 weeks sooner than the March's one, meaning like not 1.5 months, but only a month. So I was able to place May order, which arrived pretty fast. I didn't wait for the whole month. So I don't know what was going on with the delivery for 2 months. So that's why this came a little bit at halt, because I needed to stitch like this white part. There are a lot of, and even this sea foam here, was it there? Yeah, it was on this side. It had a lot of like 822, and I just didn't have the color at all. So it just went a little bit slower. I would progress it much more through the season, but just because of that floss, I just didn't have too much. And I'm usually very upset when I don't have a floss. When I see that I don't have floss, I just don't want to stitch anymore. I just get so upset and mad that I just want to move it away. I'm like, okay, let me just take another project. I don't know why. I'm working on it, but it's not working. Okay, next one. Am I halfway? I'm not even halfway through, guys, and it's already an hour. That's the reason. Oh, let me take this out. Next one is Mereshka. Mereshka, it's a spring sampler. I started it on the spring equinox last year. It's 20th of March. Total, it is there is 16,301.5 whatever stitches, and I have currently this is the top. Okay, this is how much it looks like. And currently I have stitched on it 5,843.5 stitches, which is whatever you see on the fabric right now, it's 35.85%. I added 13.07% through the year on the, I'm sorry, through the season on this project. There is a set of these samplers and I finally have the whole set. And when I make videos on purchases, I'm going to explain to you the situation. So finally I have the whole set. So these sets, unlike the rest of Mereshka's, it has two canvas. And if you may see, on the second one, you have to stitch house, bird nest, and a rabbit. Then you cut it and you sew it to the main one. That's why you see this window in the middle. It should be done last. There is instruction how properly do it, how properly locate all the pieces on the second cut of the canvas, because there is like limited cut. It's not a big one, it's tiny one. So they tell you how to position it, stitch it, cut it, but they also said that you should not serrate your edges there. You should leave them as is, which is like, okay, so how do you stitch on it? It will be pretty tight, and I'm like, do I even have a hoop I can stuff it in? You know, so kind of like there's questions to be asked how to do that, but it will be beautiful. Look at these colors. Man, it is so pretty. I'm so enjoying stitching it. You may feel like there is often color change, but it's yes and no. I'm not getting tired of it to change it. Usually I'm not a big fan to do a lot of color changes, but this one I'm really enjoying because of the colors. Beautiful, beautiful. The next time I'm going to see it like next, I usually, there are projects which I do start on certain specific days. It's either holiday or astronomical day. I have on projects which I started on solstices, on equinoxes. I have certain holidays, let's say Christmas or my birthday, or somewhere around 4th of July or Halloween, you know, something that nature. And I usually, during the season, I'm trying to make sure that I stage that project on those holidays, like make sure I'm taking exactly on that holiday. It's okay to take it later or earlier, but when that holiday is arriving, I'm definitely taking the one project which I started on that particular day. I'm kind of like sewing into the project that day, right? So this one is my equinox, spring equinox, and also like Easter-ish, because I don't have Easter projects. There are like like rabbit, birds, and eggs. I'm kind of like close to Easter, but it is my spring equinox project. So I took it on a spring equinox. Now, next project. I love this project so much, so much. Luca-s cherry composition with cherry. You've been seeing this, like for new guys, and this is like something new maybe for you, but those who are subscribed to me or periodically, or even not subscribed, just watching, you've seen this project already. This is how it looks like today. Look at that. Ooh, beautiful. So, okay, so this project, let me start with numbers. I started it April 4th, 2024. Total stitch is 20,331, and I already stitched 15,732. Is it right? Anyway, there is, yeah, it is right. There is 77.38%, and I added 37.36% during this season. Quite a bit. Let me see. Yeah, so the kit includes Ida 11, I'm sorry, 11, 8, Ida 18. But I didn't want to stitch it on Ida, and do I have, yeah. And if you will take a look, it's a little bit bluish color, like very, very, very light blue. It's a blue boy 20 count. Blue Boy is no longer on sale, like on 1 to 3 stitch. I wanted to buy bigger cut because there is a set, a series of these compositions, and I have almost all of them. So there is composition with apples, grapes, and lemons. There is actually one more composition with another grape, and there is like red flowers with red grapes, something that nature, I think. It's very, very red, and I'm like, doesn't look that great. So that's why I didn't buy it, but I have the rest. And I bought, and all of them require IDA. All of them have IDA 18, and I didn't want. So I measured the size, and I decided to stitch on 20 count. Okay, why 20 count? I stitch on 20 count 1/1. On IDA 18, you stitch 2/1. So I know I have a lot of floss left, but why I decided to do this? Last year I finished a project from luca-s, Still Life with Mushrooms. Beautiful project. I was so enjoying stitching it, and it is on 20 count. Actually, luca-s does put, they have those kits on IDA and on per linen, 20 count per linen. So I got that the last one, and this was my first time stitching on 20 count, and I was very concerned about see-through stuff, and it was not. It was so beautiful, because once you start stitching, stitches becoming more compact, the stitching together, they becoming more tight. And is there a see-through on this project? Yes, there is a little bit, not much on dark pieces, right? There is some, but when you see the picture, you don't look like this on it, right? If it will hang on a wall, will you see those see-throughs? No, you don't. The coverage is amazing. So that's why I decided, you know what, let me do it on 20 count. Now, it's going to be 1 centimeter less size than what is on, what it says. It's like 18.5 centimeters by 38.5 centimeters. So in my case, it will be 17.5 by 37.5. Not a big squeeze. It's still pretty much almost the same. And why I wanted to buy more Blue Boy. As I said, the whole set, they almost all of them the same size except one. There is one composition, I don't remember which one, which is 1 centimeter more than others. I bought cuts. You see, it's already serrated on 1 to 3 stitch, the same size for all of them. And I was really worried that that project may be too close to the border. The other one may not fit. Because if you frame it, you don't want to frame it like, you don't want your frame to be like this, right? Totally on top of this flower. You want to give it a little bit more air around the project. So I was really worried about that. The other one, that I will have very, very little left for framing, but I think I should be fine even with that one, because on the top of that flower there is nothing else will be beyond that. So even if I will frame it and give it a little bit of air, I'll still have that much. It's enough for the framer to frame it. And I'm not worried about the sides because they are longer than wider. Yeah, beautiful. So this project, I told you numbers, right? 37, I added. I love this project. I was looking forward to stitching it this season, and I was really happy that all my wheels were giving it like focus wheel. For it was my May focus wheel gave it to me. I don't remember if Mega Wheel give this. I think Super Wheel didn't give it to me yet, but it was my May focus. Man, guys, I added cherries for sure. I finished some flowers. I did backstitching on flowers. I'm looking at the project just to see like what exactly I did. I did backstitching because I wanted just to see what will be the difference, how it's going to look like, because it was a little bit ghosting, but it's already light blue. If you will stitch it on the Ida, it is going to ghost a lot, but just because you have this back stitching like pretty bright, it's going to pop. So I finished back stitching, and this week I finished cherries. This week these cherries, except so these two cherries I finished, you saw them last video, but these were not finished. All of these I finished it this week. Now everything what's left on it is just right now the next will be sticks and leaves before I move to other cherries. What's interesting, this project, you know what's happening, this project has left 4,600. It is not yet for me a project which should trigger to become a focus project for the next year, but next year it will definitely move into this category to become a focus project. Will I finish it next year? Probably not. Probably not, but I'm looking on this to be a finish of 2028. We will see how next year will go. You know, my super wheel can give this project to become to stitch, and it will suddenly become a focus project too. So I already have two spring focus projects for the next year, those two gold petites. And this is potential one. This is potential, but not guaranteed. If this one is not going to become a focus project based on stitch count, it will definitely 100% will become the focus project for 2028, which is good too. I need to finish something 2028 too, because you see this spring I didn't have any finishes. Okay, next one. I'm going to insert a preview for that project. So that is Design Works May Day Off. Very easy one for now. This is how it looks like. So I started it on my birthday last year, 12th of May. Totally it is 23,382 stitches, and currently I have 4,700 plus stitches, which is 20.26%. I stitch on 28 count antique white, and during this season I added on this project 13.69%. So it started this year with, it was at the beginning of the year, where is it? I had 6.57%, and right now it is 13. You may not see, but I added stitches to the tub. It's white on white. It's almost 1,000 stitches there only on this tub, in this tub, but I'm done with that. I'm so happy I'm done with the tub, finally. And I'm moving into my bottom right corner, so next time I'll start from there growing up. Love it. I didn't finish paintings. That's okay, right? I'm not in a rush stitching it, and then like, oh, I want to finish it ASAP. I'm okay when it will be done in 5-6 years. It's fine. Fine with me. Okay, where's the baggie? Next project is actually not a spring project. It is a summer project. X's and O's. What a ride. Why summer project? Last weekend, when just because this week, which is past, it was my super wheel week. And my super wheel gave me this project. This is a summer project. So just because the season ends, I'm saying that I'm considering summer season opened with the summer project. Okay, where is the front? Looks like this. So you see the dirt? That's what I was stitching this week, because it was like this week's super wheel week. So I started it on let me see, what will the month is the first, August 6th. There's quite a bit of stitches here, 27,964 and a half. Currently you see 4,204, which is 15.03%. And I added on this project through the season, through the spring season, 8.51%. We are still going to see this project during the summer because this is a summer project. It's in a summer wheel. I was stitching this week dirt. There is a bajillion of quarter stitches, like a lot of quarter stitches, not in dirt, but in the main rider and a horse. But why my dirt is so splotchy, right? I found out I don't have floss. I don't have two colors for the dirt. So I have to skip it. This is my June order, which I'm going to order in June to fulfill the requirements, floss requirements for this particular project. But yeah, that's why it is so splotchy. I don't like it that way, but well, if you don't have a floss, you have to do something, right? So I was doing, there is like 2 strands, 1 strand, and I think, let me see, I think it's also 3 strands in here. 1, 2, and 3. Based on a key chart, there is 1, 2, and 3 strands. 1 strand is background stitching. It's not full coverage, but there is just little corner which is not covered. All right, background you stitch with 1 strand. The bottom dirt is 2 strands. The whole rider and the horse is 3 strands. I'm not doing it in 3 strands. I told you last week, I explained to you when I did on dimensions a mistake one time, and I have 2 stitching laying next to each other. One was 3 strand, another 2 strand. There was absolutely no difference in when you look at them, and I don't like to stitch in odd numbers. I mean, 1 strand is an exception. I just don't like to secure the odd numbers, but more than 2 strands, it's on its own not very, it's very messy. You need more fiddle with that. So that's why, like 1 strand, you don't have any fiddle with that except securing the thread. With 3 and other odd numbers, it's more like you need to have a laying tool sometimes to fix the thread that it's not sticking around, poking around, whatever. I hope I cut out the coffee. So I decided I don't want to bother with 3 strands, so everything will be 2 and 1 strand. So that's why when I was stitching the dirt and I didn't have colors for the dirt, that tan looking like, that grayish on this side, this one, it's a 1 strand. And I stitched that here on the top with that 1 strand. Of course, I stitched the dirt with other colors, which I had. There is still quite a bit of dirt. I found out I don't have dirt colors. I'm about to buy them. So that's the water ride. Next one, I probably will have to pause you because this is the second project, which is on a big frame. As I said, I'm not taking them from the stand. It's heavy, it's a large one, but let me show you what is it before. So this is Rosewood Manor, a tisket, a tasket. I started it on October 24th, 2024. Total number stitches 21,690. And I'm going to give you the rest of the numbers, but let me pause you first. So I need to get the frame. Are we back? Well, I am. Okay, another one like this. Okay, guys, let me do like this because it's really heavy. All right, let's take a look. Currently, I have almost 15,000 stitches. It's 14,963. So guys, it's almost 15,000, which is 68.99%. 69, let's round up. I stitched it on 28 count vellum. It's based on a key suggested fabric, and I added through the season actually not much. It's only 5.19%. As I said last year, the whole thing, as I said, just because currently it is almost 70%, guys. It's pretty much almost everything was done last year, because my decision wheel was spinning and giving me this project together with Golden Kite every other week. I was also really tired of this project, because I would stitch it very often, and Super Wheel will love it every season, and it's just like, but I progressed quite a bit. Currently, I'm not going to go with the same speed. There is not much left, to be honest, to stitch on it. I thought I might be finishing it 2027, but the way how I structured my decision wheel right now, probably not. I'm not in a rush. I wouldn't mind to have this frame, but I'm not in a rush, because I have hoop holder, and currently I'm stitching like that, and I'm enjoying it a little bit more than I'm stitching on this stand. So that's why I'm not too worried about, I'm not too upset that I don't have free stand for other frames. So it's beautiful. It's time for me to roll it up, but I didn't do it because I knew I'm going to show you this spring overview, so you will see how actually you need to, it's actually this way. It's actually this way. Jeez, Louise, give me a second. It's poking my tummy. It's actually this way, but at the end of the year, I'm taking all of them off the frame, I'm rolling them up, and I'm showing the whole thing. I'm sacrificing my sanity for you guys to show it by the end of the year. Otherwise, I would still keep it this way, because I hate to take it down, roll it out, etc. Because I just don't have a very good, as I said, I don't have space for any type of floor stands. I don't have a very good setups for all of this. That's why you see I'm tightening it with like that. I don't have tools to make it more comfortable for me, and that's why I have a lot of fiddling and fussing with all of this, and that's why I prefer not to take them down, but once a year for you guys, because I love you. That's what I'm doing for you. All right, so that's how it looks like. It's amazing. It's really beautiful. I bought one cut, and I'm stitching on the whole cut because I just didn't want to start it from the middle. It's a big cut. I will still have some fabric left over. I don't know how much, but I'm thinking that I should be more budgeting my cuts, like more diligent with positioning it, because as you may see, I have a big sides. Look at that, how much I have left. So even if you frame it and leave a little bit like air around, and this is for framing, I still have quite a bit of that. And I'm thinking to find some projects, I'm thinking actually to cut it off, measure later, right? Once I will be done with this, I will measure for framing, for air plus framing, cut it out, and I will see what I can use those cuts for. I think I might have a project which will fit. And when I said fit, I mean that it not only fit within that strip, but also will have something for framing, right? So I think I have those type of projects, but we will see. But I do know on 1 2 3, not 1 2 3 stitch, everywhere you can find a lot of designers who specifically design itsy bitsy tiny projects for those cuts, so you don't throw them away. And that's the one thing which I don't like, how people sell those cuts. And I wish in United States they will change it. I don't know why they do it this way, but did you pay attention every time you go to buy a cut, the cut measurements will always be either too risky for your project, like too small on one side when you try to like leave for framing, or it will have too big sides but not big enough to fit a second project. It's kind of a waste, right? So they cut it in a way that you have a lot of waste, and I don't know why they do those measurements. Even for Mirabilia, if you want to buy a cut for Mirabilia, and even if you want to position your project on the fabric, you know, like not just plop it in the middle, but just like to have something leftovers for maybe other projects, you will have a waste piece of a fabric, which it's really hard to find what to stitch on it because there is no such tiny projects. But in the same time, you will have like big football fields of for the framing, which, as I said, not big enough for another project, but not narrow enough to not be looking and saying like, what a waste, right? So I don't know why they do it, why they don't cut it in a different way. You may say, hey, just because they may buy by certain size, they buy by the bolt. They buy by the bolt. And you can always, I can guarantee that you probably can always figure out cut size. I understand that it's easy for them to say, oh, half fat quarter, thin quarter, a quarter, a yard. Those have certain measurements. For me as European, those are just like, I don't know, Chinese numbers. I'm like, what the heck are those numbers? I just don't have picture like a yard. How big is the yard? You know, like I'm looking at the backyard. Is that big? You know, that's what I'm looking like. What do you mean by a yard? I know there's certain measurements in inches, then I need to convert in centimeters because those inches don't make sense either. But even then, I'm like, okay, don't sell it by the yard of fat quarter, whatever that quarter mean, whatever that fat means, right? Just do it measurements that you will fit memorabilia, for example, in it, and you will have normal framing size, not ginormous waste fields, and you may have actually sell more fabric from the bolt than you would do by cutting with fats and things and yards, you know. Sorry, just like me rambling around because it drives me nuts, those waste fabric which they sell. You kind of overpaying to throw that away in the trash because you cannot freaking fit anything into the leftovers, right? So I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. The next project is I got really upset. Shouldn't have started talking about it. Anyway, the next project is Long Dog. By the way, the Rosewood Manor is my multi-seasonal. You are still going to see it in summer and fall. It's not my winter project, but it's spring, summer, and fall, so it's present in all those decision wheels. Long Dog is also multi-seasonal, but it present in all seasons, including winter, because I didn't know what kind of season is this, right? There are some stars here and flowers and different, like some of them you can consider spring, some you can consider summer, and there are fall colors, so there's like multi-seasonal. It's a big sheet. Whoever stitched Long Dogs, you guys know that this is a big boy. I'm not halfway through the line yet. So let's talk numbers. I started it in November 14th last year. There is 106,452 and a half because it has backstitching here. I stitched already 5,597, which is 5.26%. And through the year, I added 4.59%. Yeah, I started very little. It was, I think, like 0.67% I started this year with. It was just a little bottom line, like this narrow line. This narrow one was the beginning of the year, not the full line by the at the end. It was just everything what is filled with color, those little squares on the bottom. That's how much it was at the beginning of the year. Now it's a big sheet. It's a big sheet, and it's already cut for the project. It's not that I will cut it later for something else. No, it's already just, the whole thing is just for this particular project. Once again, like this. That border looks very tiny on the preview. Tiny. ginormous. Can you imagine how big those blocks are with other elements? Yep, love it. I'm stitching it on 32 Silver Moon. It is grayish, a little bit grayish color. I had, for a long time, I could not decide which color I want to stitch it on. At first, I wanted on something more warm color, but I was like, no, and I ended up on this one. I'm still not sure if it's the right color for the project, but it looked better in my head than with other colors. Okay, next one is Lavender and Lace. Guardian Angel, and I was showing you this last weekend. Where are you? Oh, here. It looks like this right now. Where's my cheat sheet? I need to put preview somewhere. So I started it on the 24th of January last year. Total count is 19,681, and I already stitched 7,393. Currently what you see is 37.56%, and I'm stitching on 32 count Sprite Lugana. It's like, you see, purplish, a very pale purple. It's more in a warm color. I wanted more colder color, but I could not find that color, so I decided to use this one. Very beautiful, by the way, fabric, really beautiful. I started this project at the beginning of this year. It was 30.99%, and I added only 6.57%. Unfortunately, somehow this project didn't made into my spring decision wheel. It was missing. I added it already. I actually updated my decision wheels. I always update decision wheels at the end of the season. I add starts to it. I don't do immediately starts through the season. When let's say I started in April, I'm not adding that project to a decision wheel, because my decision wheel, that's my rule, is going to contain only the project which migrated from the previous years. The current ones are not a part of it, but they should go into the next year one. So that's why at the end of the season, to make sure that my decision wheel is not giving them to me, right? That's why I'm not adding them during the season, and only when the season ended I have update my decision wheels. But if, let's say, if I finish the project, I do remove it when I finished from the decision wheel, because I don't want it, for some kind of reason, try to give it to me again. I want other projects have more chances to show up. So if I have to remove, I remove it immediately, but adding, I'm not in a rush. It's only end of the season. So yeah, this is how it looks like. I talked about it last week a little bit. I don't want to stop, dedicate too much time for this one, because I'm already like more than an hour, guys. Okay, hopefully you are stitching. This is how it looks like. I love it a lot. I love it too. It's very easy, and I told you I'm stitching on 32 count, but usually how I decide the count fabric for these ladies is this project doesn't have beads at all, so you can stitch on any count you want. There is a problem here that the gold one, this gold metallic, you stitch it 2-ply with DMC gold. It's like, I told you everything I told about that gold last week. Just, you can go and watch my video. But just because it doesn't have beads, it's 32 count. If it would have beads, but beads would be scattered and not touching each other in a row or in a column, I will use 32 count. Example of the project, Mirabilia Stone Rose. Beautiful. I have everything for that project. I'm going to stitch it on 32 count. I will start it eventually. I already kitted it up. But if I will take other projects, other Mirabilias or Bella Filipinas, all those ladies where beads lay next to each other in a row or in a column, it doesn't matter, in a block, I use 28 count. Mill Hill beads are too big for 32. They are going to look ugly. They are not going to look neat. Even if you stretch it on a frame, they are still going to look ugly. So that's why I decided that I'm going, like, I have an experience with Bella Filipina. That's after her. I decided if that's the case, I'm going to use 28 count, and I don't care that the project will become bigger than it intended. I'm okay with making it bigger. I just don't want those beads look ugly. That's the thing. That's the only one reason. This one doesn't have beads. 32 count. All right. And my last project, finally, for today, I call it Fox Equinox. As you understood, I started it actually on Fall Equinox 2024. It was 22nd of September 2024. Total count 344,997. This is my chart, but I told you guys you can find this chart at Unconventional Stitches. They do have it. I told you this whole story, why I decided to make my own instead of buying. There was a financial reason for that. But if you want to stitch it, I'm not selling the chart. I'm not. But if you want to stitch it, Unconventional Stitches, they do have it. I saw people stitching not this particular one, but other Unconventional Stitches, full coverages. They're beautiful. So you're not going to regret it if you want to stitch this project from them. I hope you're not, but I saw the other projects. I actually do plan to buy from them. There are certain like tarot cards they have. There are a ton of pictures they have. I love them all. But some of them I love more than the others, and I'm planning at some point to buy from them a couple of hopefully they still actually probably need to buy it before they will stop supporting them, right? Like happened with Heaven and Earth Designs, Sheena Pike's projects. I didn't know that Heaven and Earth can stop collaborating with the author. But anyway, if you like it, it's there. Unconventional Stitches. I call it Fox Equinox. I stitched it on 28 count ivory jobelin. This is my long playing project for 30 years. Well, right now it's 27 years and 3 months left to stitch. I'm going to tell you how I counted that. So currently I have 17,243 stitches, which is exactly 5%. Maybe, I mean, it's rounded. No, actually, it is exact 5%. I added 1.87% since the beginning of the year, not the season, the year. I stitch this project every single month, regardless of the season. I add 1,000 stitches a month. I do take it only once a month. I don't do it once a week. Again, because I knew that I'm going to be tired of it. And I don't want it to become a chore. I don't want to be tired and just like throw it away. I decided to go easy on myself and do 1,000 stitches a month. If I would do 2,000 stitches a month, I would finish it in 14 years. But I know I will get tired of it because I'll have to take it twice a month. Now, I'm okay to stitch it long term. This calculation is approximate. It was 28 years something when I started it. This is based on counting if you do 1,000 stitches exact every single month. Not a stitch higher, not a stitch lower. I'm trying to stitch a little bit more than 1,000. It's like if I have like more confetti, like in here where details are, I would do, it will go slower, but I will still try to do 1,000 stitches, a bit like 1,050, you know, like some, like if I can do 1 or 2 stitches more than 1,000, I'm already happy with that. But on the easier parts, when you see like this orange block, this yellow orange block, I can go more. I sometimes can stitch, I think the biggest one was 1,700, but usually it will be like 1,200, 1,300. That actually will take a trickle down. Trickle down and will add up, and it may, like in 28 years, it may actually bring me 1 year sooner than what I calculated, right? So that's my plan, to stitch it. I already next to the another line, very close to the next line. There are actually 2 lines go together very close to each other. So that's what I'm going to do in June. Yeah, I'm kind of stitching together. Yeah, that's in June. So guys, that will be it for the project, for whatever I was showing you today. Now, what's next? Okay, let me put away my cheat sheet, and I'm going to talk about what's next. Let me show you one more project. Let me show you one more spring project, which I didn't stitch yet during the season. I showed you it last week, but just because today and tomorrow I still have 2 days in the season left, I'm going to stitch this project. I showed you it last week, but again, I didn't take it because I knew I told you that I'm going to move it to a few more days, but just needed to show you. So this is the cardinals on the dogwood. Looks horrible. I know. This is crewel embroidery. As you may see, it's not cross stitches. Looks bad. I know. But I told you last week, the most difficult part is done. It's cardinals and nest and birds, little chickadees. I mean, babies. Flowers, they are easier. They are easier. So if I'll have enough strength today, I still need to do one more video for the other folks. I'm going to do these leaves in here. I need to do backstitch on the cardinal, and hopefully by today and tomorrow I will finish this piece. It's not fast for me, but usually flowers, they do go faster, as I said, because I already stitched flowers, as you may see here and in here. Comparing to the cardinals and nest, they go easier. So I know that pretty much easier portion of the project left, but this is the one which I'm really dreading, and I don't want to throw it away just because I know that I'm done with the most difficult part and now the most easier go. Usually I do sometimes let project cook, like sit in a corner until I will have like a feeling, desire to finish it. You just need to give some projects some more time, a little bit. I have a feeling that with this particular project, I may never have time for this, so like never have a desire. So that's why I'm kind of kicking my ass, just to keep nibbling, keep stitching it a little bit, few stitches a season. Eventually it will end. Otherwise I would never take it. And as I said, there is so easier part left. I shouldn't drop it, because I'm done with the difficult one. Because if the difficult one will be the one which is left, I would probably put it away and let it sit until I will have a desire. And if I would never have a desire, I wouldn't be crying about it. But it's the other way around. The easier part left. So I need to finish it. Not this year, but move. Anyway, now, not going to show you purchases. No time for that. Plus, I said I still have 2 more purchases done today. Anyway, still spring. June. What's waiting in June? Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to do a wheel, summer wheel, the first weekly summer wheel. And we'll take a look what will be the project for me to stitch during the next week for 2 days, right? June, there are 2 holidays in June, and I have 2 projects which I dedicated to those 2 holidays. Both of those holidays fall on a week which is my super wheel week. That's why in June I always have my super wheel decision wheel. I am moving it a week earlier. So I'm not going to roll it at the end of the month. It will be in the middle of the month. What are the holidays at the end of the month? Summer solstice, and I have summer solstice project. And there is another old pagan Slavic holiday. It's called Ivana Kupala. And when the time will come, I will explain to you what is that. I really love the holiday. There's a nice folk mythological stories about that. And when the time will come, as I said, I'll explain and show it to you. So, but just because they both go next to one after each other in the same week, I have projects for those, and I'm going to stage them. That's why my super wheel is it's not a good week to have it. That will be the change which usually I have in June, and I think that's it. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah, that's the thing which I wanted to tell you. So I'm going to insert here a clip where I span. I'm going to spin a wheel. We will see what will be my next summer project. Okay, hopefully this is the last piece of the video and we will be done with it. Okay, funny enough, let me tell you guys, this is actually the only one single projects from all my summer projects which I have, which left only 2,000 stitches. Do you understand what it means? What I was talking about 30 minutes at the beginning of the video? Yeah, it falls under the focus project for the season. So this is Plum Street Samplers, Flag Flock, and Sheep Keep. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It looks like this right now. I don't remember on which fabric I'm stitching it. It is 32 count, I just don't remember the color. I'm stitching it DMC, most of them are DMC. I have, I don't like Weeks Dye Works at all. I do use it when it needed, when I have to, but I'm not enjoying those floss. They're very dry. They are, you need to cut very short because they are fraying, they are falling apart. I just hate that floss. There is even worse floss than that, but there is the second worst. I don't like it. So most of the time I'm trying to change Weeks Dye Works to DMC. Exceptions are for the project, for the pieces or elements where Weeks Dye Works have pretty definitive variegation on the floss. Some of these sheeps, when I looked at the floss, there is absolutely invisible variegation on that one, like really nothing. So I was like, why would I stitch with the floss which I don't like? I would rather change it to DMC. So all of these guys are DMC. But I think there will be some elements. I think the pineapple, you need to use Weeks Dye Works on the white sheep, on top of white sheep. And I think basket on that first sheep. I used Weeks Dye Works. This one, you see, that is Weeks Dye Works because there is variegation. You could see it on the floss. And when you stitch, you see the variegation. I stitched, what is that? Oh man, reindeer, not from Plum Street Samplers. Cottage Garden. You know, they have those animals. So I stitched the reindeer. There was white color. You need to use Weeks Dye Works for the snow. I thought it was a solid color until I kind of roll on my finger and I saw there is somewhere a little bit, a glimpse of extremely pale blue inserts, like very invisible. But when you stitch on it, there is absolutely no difference with the DMC white whatsoever. Just because I finished the reindeer fully, but I really don't like the fabric which I picked, it was too bright in my opinion, and I wanted it not so I didn't envision it to be that way, right? So it didn't end up exactly as I wanted. I'm going to stitch it one more time, but on a darker fabric, and I'm definitely going to replace everything will be DMC there. I'm not going to use Weeks That Works, because I used Weeks That Works on that project and I saw there is simply no variegation. I just wasted my money and sanity using it. Also, I'm going to pick my own colors because I like the reindeer on preview. I hate how it came out at the result, because on a preview, it's they photoshopped the preview. They make it much more brighter, much more colorful. When you stitch it, it's very dull brown black colors, and your reindeer is absolutely not what is on a preview. I hated it too. So I'm going to pick colors based on a preview, so it will look exactly as on a picture, because that's what I bought it for the picture. This piece of a fabric, it's the smallest cut you can buy on 123 Stitch. And I usually would buy, you know, like sometimes I need to find certain color. I'm like, I see this particular project on this particular color. Let me find it, right? And just because there is no sampler cuts, the smallest one is a sampler. I use it as a sampler. But I decided, why is going to lay around if I can fit on it some project? I just can put in my notes which fabric I used, and if in case in future I will look at my project and see, oh, I like the color and I have this project laying around and it will work great on this color, I can go in my notes and take a look what was the color. And I have those notes in Excel spreadsheet on a Google Drive, so it's not going away anywhere. I'm not deleting that information. So this is that's the smaller card. So card is going to fit perfectly. It's not what is in the kit. It's not the kit. It's not what the author suggested. I replaced it. I really like the darker one. Now there is an error in the chart. It's missing. So there is a symbol on the chart which is not in a key. It's missing from the key. And usually, you know, Plum Street samplers, you have like this main chart and you have this itsy bitsy one. So there is like little doggy. You have this chart inside, and I remember someone said, hey, you need to go and take a look. Maybe that color present in this chart. It's not. I looked, I read back and right, forth and middle, all sides, instruction, every single paper. No, it's not. It's missing from the key. What exactly is missing? If you will take a look at American flag, the blue piece of that, I don't know what's the floss is used. What's the number? It's missing from the chart. It's not present. And I just picked something. I just took the preview and took my DMC, what I had, and like, you know, like, I'm like, what is it? What is it? And I picked something what is look like that. And I'm really happy with that color. I don't remember what exactly I picked, but anyway, this was supposed to be my focus project for the season. And just because my wheel gave it to me, it's kind of like, okay, 2-in-1. It's still going to be my focus project for the season. Nothing is going to change, but I'm not going to sit 4 days with it just because like, oh, focus project plus weekly. It will just happen that this week I will have more days. Maybe I will do one start. Why not? I have a big pile of starts for summer, but I know that I'm not going to start all of them because I had exactly the same situation last year, and I didn't start even at half of it or even a quarter of it. I'm looking at the pile which I want to start this summer. I'm like, I wish I would start at least 1 or 2 out of it. I want more, but I at least 1 or 2, because I had exactly maybe smaller pile for the spring, and I started only 1, which is not what was I planning. I needed more. So now I have more days and I may have a new start. Well, we'll see. We will see what's going to be next week. But Also, what else I wanted to add? This 4th of July, this is my 4th of July project. I didn't start it on 4th of July, but I found out that this year, 2026, United States going to celebrate 250th anniversary of independence. Yes. And a lot of girls stitching extremely beautiful projects out there, and they are trying to make it, finish it before the 4th of July. I found out about it last fall, and I'm like, man, I don't have any patriotic projects, and I remember about this, and I should be done with it before the this is my focus piece for the season. 2000 stitches like plus left. I should be done with it before the anniversary. Yay! I'm so happy with that. Anyway, guys, I maybe need to go and drink something because my voice is down and I still need to do exactly the same copy of the video on a different language. So at this point, I will say my goodbyes to you. I will see you already next week, not facing camera, but it will be like a regular one. Yeah, and that will be it for today. I wish you all the best, happy stitching, and until next week, see ya!